Hey, welcome to Backyard Grilling here on Nex-Tech Local 1. I'm your host, Jason Pearson, and the wind is out of the west today, so the smoke is blowing right in our face. But that's a good thing, because that means we're outside and we're grilling. It's a nice day outside. You know, one of my favorite things to eat is tacos. I love tacos because you can make tacos out of about anything, just as long as you can put them between 2 flour tortillas or 2 corn tortillas, whatever your poison is there. So today we're going to make something a little different. We're going to make tacos, but we're going to make them a little bit different, a little out of the norm. We're going to use pork belly. And it's not your typical taco, but pork belly, if you can see this, is basically just uncured bacon. And I love bacon. So we're going to use pork belly for our taco protein. And then we're also going to make a pineapple salsa to go on top of that taco. So let's go ahead and get started. So what I've got is, I've got our pork belly. When I purchased this was probably about 2 foot by 12 inches or so, and so I cut them down into kind of manageable pieces that we can cook. If you have that big of a piece, it's really going to take a while to cook. So what we're going to do is, a lot of times when you get a pork belly, it's going to have a skin on. This does not have the skin on, but it does have a pretty big fat cap, and we're going to leave that because that's going to make it more flavorful. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to put just a little bit of olive oil on here so our rub and stuff will stick to it. I'm also going to take it, and we've got that big kind of fat cap, and I'm just going to put some slices in it. I'm not going to cut all the way down, just kind of down to where we get into a little bit more of the meat. Just like so. I'm going to do that on both of them, and the reason I'm going to do that is because the rub that we put into it, it'll allow it to get down in there a little better and season that meat. Like I said, we're not going to go that deep, just enough to kind of get our rub down in there. So I've got the strips that way, and then I'm going to kind of go this way too. Just like so. All right, so we've got these 2 pieces, and a lot of times we do everything exactly the same. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to mix it up a little bit. I'm going to season one with some stuff that I buy right off from the store. It's actually not from the store. It's Kelly's Pig Dust. It's by Kelly Wirtz from 4 Legs Up Barbecue. He's got some great rubs and stuff. So I'm going to use his pig dust. But then also I'm just going to do a basic rub here. It's just salt and pepper and garlic. And I'm going to do the 2 of them. And I'm just going to kind of work that into those cuts that I did. And a lot of times I'll do 2 different rubs like this, and then the next time I do it, then I'll have a better idea of what I like the best. I mean, if I like the plain salt and pepper rub, then that's what we'll do. If I like the pork dust rub that we put on it, then we'll use that instead of the salt and pepper. So it's just kind of a different way to try different stuff. My memory is not very good sometimes, so I actually have a little black book, and I keep a lot of stuff in there as far as what I do. I mean, a lot of times if I'm smoking cheese or something, I'll put in there the links that I smoked the cheese, so I can get a good idea on what worked the best at different times and what kind of cheese took the best smoke. Same thing with this. I'll put in there that I really like the salt and pepper and garlic rub that we used, or that I didn't like it that much. So we're going to cover this pretty liberal. So there's our first one, and we're going to put it on the grill, and I'm going to put it down fat side down. And I'll probably flip that here in a little bit, but the reason I wanted to do that is because the grill's pretty hot right now, and hopefully it'll give me a kind of a good crisp on that fat. So we're going to go ahead and switch now to our pig dust We're going to cover it pretty liberal too. We did put a little olive oil on there, and the only reason we did that is to kind of let the rub that we're putting on there stick a little better to the meat. Okay, so that one's coated really good. We'll go ahead and put it on the grill. Okay, we're going to let that smoke for about 2 hours. That way it gets nice and tender. We'll check it then. But next, we're going to go ahead and get started on our pineapple salsa. So I'll get my stuff ready. We'll take a break, so don't go away.
$10,000 in 10, but give 50.
With 7 agents and 3 locations, Hammett Land & Auction Incorporated can meet your every need when it comes to your next sale. Visit them at hammettauction.com and you'll find all their upcoming sales, including farms, ranches, as well as farm equipment and even real estate listings, both residential and commercial. They've been serving western Kansas since 1983, and with offices in Stockton, Russell, and Hayes, they're always nearby to assist you. Hammett Land & Auction Incorporated. Contact them today.
$25 would get $21,000.
Norton County Hospital would like to welcome Dr. Todd Pankratz, an OBGYN who is now accepting patients. This means women can receive local specialized care for high-risk pregnancies, infertility, medical weight loss, and various surgeries. With Dr. Pankratz and on-staff physicians, the hospital hopes to serve as a premier facility for women's health care, and this care extends to the entire family as more than 60 babies are welcomed here each year. The Norton County Hospital, dedicated to caring, commitment, and community.
Your house is more than just a house. It's a home for your family to grow. It's a place where you feel the most comfortable and can be yourself. Shop at Paul's Furniture Company in Selden so your family can select the perfect pieces for all the rooms in your house. With over 17,000 square feet of selection, they are sure to have the styles that will please everyone, even the kids. Visit Paul's Furniture Company in Selden, where they'll help you feel at home. Visit us online at paulsfurnitureco.com.
Hey, welcome back to Backyard Grilling here on Nex-Tech Local 1, and today we're making tacos, but not just any kind of tacos. We're making a pork belly taco, and now we're going to get ready to make what goes on top of that taco, and we're going to make a pineapple salsa, and we're actually going to use real pineapple. I mean, you could buy it in a can, but that's kind of cheating. So we're going to use fresh pineapple. Aubrey thought I should sing you the SpongeBob song, but I don't think I'm going to. So, fresh pineapple. So, I had to get on YouTube a little bit to find out the right way to cut a pineapple because it looks like a pretty big task. So, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to cut the head off of it. Just like so. We'll put this on our table for like a plant decoration. All right, and then the second thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and cut the bottom off. Just like so. So we have our pineapple with the bottom and the top cut off, and then we're basically just going to cut it in half. Okay, so we've got it cut in half, our 2 pieces. Put this here, this way that the camera can see it. If you see our pineapple, it's got kind of the yucky part of it, I guess you could say, of the pineapple, and that's the part that you don't want. Now, we could have got creative and cut out it and cored it and all that, but I'm not quite that creative. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take my knife and I'm going to cut at an angle so we kind of get away from that pineapple, or that core. So we're going to do that one like that, and the same one on this one. And there's the not so good part of the pineapple. So we'll set it aside, and then we're going to go ahead and cut this in half, just like so. Then what we can do is cut that piece in half, and then we can actually, for our diced up pineapple, we'll start to put some cuts here. I'm going to make cuts, but I'm not going to go clear through. Just like so. Then we're going to take it at an angle and cut those right off of the skin. just like so. And there are our pineapple chunks. So, fresh pineapple is awesome. Give it a taste. Very good. Oh, Aubrey, you gotta try that. That is really good. So, we're gonna go ahead and continue that on this one. Now, for our fresh pineapple salsa, it calls for 2 cups of pineapples. I told my daughter I was making pineapple salsa, and she was appalled at some of the things that were going to go in it. So I will show you that, because it's not just going to, we're going to put some onions, some cilantro, the good green stuff that a lot of kids don't like. So, okay, so I'm going to go ahead and finish cutting up our pineapple, and when we come back, we'll finish building our pineapple salsa. So don't go away.
Here in the Heartland, we make things homemade with precision and care. Robin Insurance is no different. Their family creates tailored plans to keep your family safe. They are a family-owned and operated agency that also offers commercial, farm, and crop insurance. With quick, fair claims, your matter will be held professionally and with excellent customer service. Robin Insurance, the corner post of insurance since 1936. See their ad in the Nex-Tech directory.
Make moving and storing your home or business easy with storage solutions of Hayes and Victoria. With 2 facilities, they can store anything from antiques to automobiles and everything in between. Interior units for items needing special care. Drive-up units of all sizes, perfect for home or business. And outside storage for trucks, boats, and RVs. As an authorized U-Haul dealer, they have everything for your next move, across town or across the country. Storage solutions of Hayes and Victoria, making moving and storing easy.
Western Auction and Real Estate LLC is ready to travel to you. Their team includes auctioneers and real estate specialists that will exceed your expectations. They offer experience in agriculture real estate, commercial and residential sales, and farm equipment auctions. Plus, they conveniently travel to your location. And it doesn't stop there. Visit westernauctionandrealestate.com today to shop their online equipment auctions too. For professionalism from concept to completion, it's Western Auction and Real Estate.
Hey, welcome back to Backyard Grilling here on Nex-Tech Local 1, where we're making pork belly tacos with a pineapple salsa. So what we just got done doing was cutting up and dicing about 2 cups of fresh pineapple, and we kind of went through how to cut the pineapple up. My table decoration still. So we've got our 2 cups of pineapple. So now we're going to add about a half a cup of onions. And I'm going to use a red onion just because I like them a little better. So, and I'm going to dice these as small as I can. Look at that, almost looked like I knew what I was doing. Okay, that should be about a half a cup. We'll get the bigger pieces out of there of red onion, and they're diced up pretty small. I can't imagine getting a big old chunk of onion in with my pineapple salsa, so we'll make sure they're nice and small. So we'll set that aside. We'll put that in with our salsa. Okay, next thing is jalapenos. This is kind of optional. You don't have to use jalapenos if you don't want to. We'll give it, of course, a little bit extra spice, but so we'll take it kind of easy with the jalapenos. And what I did do is I cored it and kind of took all the seeds out, because that will help tone down the jalapenos as well. So they're not quite as spicy if they don't have all the seeds and everything in there. So we'll get these cut up. Okay. And I'm going to dice these just a little bit more. Once again, just like the onions, we don't want a big old chunk of jalapeno in with our pineapple salsa, except that pineapple was super sweet, and it definitely would help the heat. So, okay, so there is our jalapenos. Okay, next thing up, you can't have salsa without a little bit of cilantro. Nice wind. So, we're going to go ahead and pull off some cilantro here. And I do not like stems with my cilantro, so what I like to try to do is peel the leafy parts off and get rid of the, the big chunks of the stem. Once again, the nice thing about doing this outside is you just throw your stems on the ground. Unless you're like cooking in a kitchen or on the deck or something, you may not want all that all over the deck. So, you know what? I'm going to put a wind block right here because the wind is blowing my cilantro all over the place. So what we're doing is we're just kind of peeling the leafy part off of the cilantro here. Okay, and once we get that there, we'll just kind of start to dice this up pretty good. You know, cilantro is one of those things that you're a fan of it or you're not. It's got kind of a different taste. This recipe actually calls for a whole cup of cilantro. I'm going to tone it down a little bit because I think a whole cup when you only got about 2 cups of pineapple could be a little overpowering. So we're just going to dice this up really good. Okay, about like so. All right, so we got our 2 cups of pineapple. We got about a half a cup of onions. We probably have about a half a cup, maybe a little bit more of the cilantro. Last thing is tomatoes. And I'm just going to use these cherry tomatoes or grape tomatoes. And I found that a little serrated knife works better on these. And we're just going to kind of cut the ends off and then dice them up. Nothing special. Oh, that one was a squirter. I checked our pork butt just a little bit earlier. It's looking really good. I actually took it and flipped it over to another side because that fat side was getting nice and charred for us, so it'll have a nice crisp on it for us. Alright, so there's our tomatoes kind of diced up. Go to the bigger knife and see if we can't chop them up a little finer. There we go. So we got about a cup of cherry tomatoes there. We'll give this a quick stir. If nothing else, it looks really good because of the color. You can kind of see you've got the pineapple, the purple onions or red onions, the green from the cilantro, and the tomatoes. As I splash it all over the place. And one more thing we're going to do is we're going to add about 2 limes to this. So what I like to do is take my limes, these are a little hard, and I'm going to loosen them up a little bit. Give them a chop. And a squeeze. And if you don't have fresh lime, you could use the canned lime juice, but it's so much better to have fresh. All right. So we have our pineapple salsa. We have about 2 cups of pineapple. We have about a half a cup of red onions. We have about a half a cup to 3/4 of a cup of cilantro, about a cup of tomatoes, and then we have 2 limes that we've squeezed in there. The only thing we're missing for this is I'm going to add, get rid of my gloves here, I'm going to add about 2 teaspoons of kosher salt. There's 1. Okay. And then I'm also going to add about a teaspoon to 2 teaspoons of fresh cumin. Ground cumin. Okay, there we go. Give this a quick stir. Now, all we need is our pork belly to be done, and we can build our tacos. So we're going to take a break. We're going to check our pork belly, and we'll be right back. So don't go away.
Some mobile phone providers think they can just take. They'll all take an arm and a leg for a new phone. Got it. And look out if you go over your data limit.
I didn't see that coming.
Unlimited data plans as low as $20 per line. Come into any of our stores for a free, upfront, and honest consultation about your data and wireless needs. Nex-Tech Wireless, the carrier you trust.
Hey, welcome back to Backyard Grilling here on Nex-Tech Local 1, where we're making a pork belly taco with a pineapple salsa. So we've got our salsa made, and we've got our pork belly on the smoker. It's been on there for about, I'd say, 2 hours, 2.5 hours. We'll give it a quick probe. Make sure it's good and done. You know, the good thing about this is you could cook this a little longer, a little slower, you know, kind of however you want. But I think these are good. So we'll go ahead and yank these 2 off here. Don't those look good? And here, I'll kind of flip this over. You can see where this was the fat size. And if I'm not careful, this thing will just kind of break in half. So we've got a nice kind of crunch on that fat part of it. We've got the 2 different kinds that we did. If you remember, we did a pork rub on one, and then we just did a plain old salt and pepper and garlic on SPG on the second one. So that is, this one here is the pork rub that we did, this one here is the salt and pepper one. So that way when I'm done with these, we'll give them a shot and we'll see which one we like the best. So the best thing to do is to try to let these rest for, I'd say, about 15 to 20 minutes. I'm going to get a little antsy and we're going to skip that part. So I'm going to throw a couple flour tortillas on our grill to get them a little toasted up for us. Grab my tongs and we're going to give these a nice cut. And we're just going to cut these into strips. Just like that. Put a plate over here to kind of catch that for us. Okay, should be enough for one. That's the salt and pepper blend. And this one here will be the pork rub one that we did. You know, if you wanted to, you could also go ahead and put these in some tin foil, put them back on the grill, and let them cook for about another 20 or 30 minutes. And you could kind of treat it almost like you would a pulled pork. So once you took it out of that tin foil wrapper, you could just kind of break it up with your hand. Like I said, it'd just be just like kind of treating it like pulled pork. I wanted to kind of be able to keep it so we could slice it. Another thing, if you really wanted to, you could take it, put it in a skillet, and even brown some of those a little bit more if you wanted to. But we're going to go ahead and go this route. So we've got our heated corn, we're just using flour tortillas. Okay, now we can't forget our salsa. And the cool thing is, we gave this a try. You can taste about everything in it. You taste the tomatoes, the pineapple, everything. It's really good. It's got a little bit of a kick to it. So we'll build these. We're going to take a little bit of pork belly. Got kind of a mess going on here. This is the salt and pepper blend one. We're going to put a little bit of pulled pork on there. We're going to spoon a little bit of our pineapple salsa. Like so. And what's a taco without cheese? Top it with a little bit of cheese. So there we go. Pork belly, pineapple tacos. Scoot over here. Looks good. So hey, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Backyard Grilling and our pork belly pineapple tacos. Join us next time. Check us out also on Pinterest, on Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, all of those cool things. So see us next time.